matter of making sure that the argument gets out to the community. It's also an issue of making sure that that gets into the legislative office that you're working with. Now, the requirements for your outlet, best thing to do, go to that newspaper's website. They usually have a letter to the editor link, and they'll tell you your letter can't be more than 100 words, 150 words, 200 words, has to be submitted in this format, in this way, etc. So an LTE can be a great way to connect with some of those media outlets and legislators, getting that message into their offices. Now, a few more tips here. Calling into radio stations. Drive time is pretty important. You get a lot of comments. You get a lot of talk radio going on. Maybe there's some that you don't want to call into because it might be a little scary, but sometimes you've got some that might be a little bit more sympathetic to the library community. And your comments really matter, again, not just because they get out to the community, but because they get out to the elected officials and their staff that are listening to some of the radio shows. Your comments are really appropriate at any point where they're talking about funding for local services. So if it might be, you might be calling in to talk to a city, talk about a city vote. You might be calling in to talk about a state vote or a federal vote. It's just really appropriate, frankly, right now at any time, because funding is a big deal with everyone. Being prepared, I would just make sure that you know what your 30-second comment will be and your soundbite. Radio loves sound bites. You can find some media outlets on that Take Action page that I showed you earlier. When you went to the home page, this was the page where we had all the issues listed. And there's a link over on the